Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday night. I am Leanne, Winston, psychic medium. Not sure why I've got the headphones in tonight, but I don't have a guest on with me, so I really don't need to have those in my ear. So it's just, I think it's habit, and I think, I don't know, Spirit's drawing me to a few things tonight. I was actually going to put up a post and say I'm out on spiritual maintenance tonight. It has been a long day. It's been a long week so far, and we're only up Wednesday. So I was going to take the night for myself, but something drew me to the fact that I needed to come along. So I'll say hi to everybody that is joining in. I can see you lovely ladies coming in as well. So hi, Josephine. I hope you're well, honey. And we have Sharon as well. Hi, hun. And we also have Vanessa joining in as well. So I've got stuff moving here in the cupboard. It's catching my attention. So we've got the lovely Sharon just saying we are creatures of habit. And it's funny because I just automatically put the headphones in my ear, the earbuds, not thinking about what I was doing in that side of it, because I'm just so used to being on with other people most of my shows each week. So I need them to hear that. But I also felt the need tonight to actually come online. As I said, I'm looking tired. I'm feeling tired at the moment. But I did really want to come on because Spirit, well, I had decided I wasn't. Spirit had pushed it. And talking to one of my beautiful friends, and one also, she's a student as well. And I just, Spirit told me, no, you got to go on. You've got to talk about different things. So to me, I was being drawn into look at what we do. Look at the habits we have in life. Look at the way, sorry, my friend just driving me nuts. I can see it in the screen. Look at the way that we spend our lives. What is it that we are doing? Are we staying true to ourselves? Are we judging others? Do we go through life putting others on a pedestal even? Or, you know, what is it that you are doing? And I know Roz and I had a little bit of a conversation on Tuesday, and one of the lovely followers made a point, and it could have been Sharon that did that. I can't remember, honey, if it was you or not, that brought up by putting people on a pedestal in a roundabout way, we are belittling ourselves as well. I believe we're all equal in life, no matter the colour of our skin, our language, where we come from, whether we've, had the hard upbringing or we've had money put in our hands, so to speak, the silver spoon in our mouth. I believe that we need to, moving forward, we need to accept people for who they are. Look at the journey that we all travel. We all have a journey when we come into this life, and some of us learn our lessons quite quickly. Others will take time to learn it. So I want, if anything comes from Spirit's push tonight, I guess I would like to ask you to take a moment and to look at your life. What is it that you do? Because when I was talking with my student before, and a lovely friend, she's had an aha moment, okay? But at the same time, she kind of felt like she was being pulled back into old habits, or the old habits were stepping in. So to sit back as a mentor and watch the students develop, I can tell them this stuff, and I probably have told them this stuff numerous times before, but we don't hear things. And that this isn't just from students, this is people in general. We really don't hear a lot of things until we want to hear it, until it really does resonate with us. Sometimes we've got to discover those things for ourselves. So what is it that you are doing in your life? What is it that, are the old habits, the old ways? Do you, we may have been brought up in a judgmental sort of situation in our lives, and we have kept that going in our adulthood when we are more in control. Look at what it is that you're doing, but also look at your conditioning, because sometimes we're only doing what we know, but it is becoming more aware of what we are doing and making those conscious decisions. I find a lot of times people are contacting me saying, have you seen such and such has done this? They're copying you. They're using your wording. and all this stuff that comes, so what? We are all individuals. We all have a choice to make in, what it is we have for breakfast, what clothes we're going to wear, what we're going to do today, the whole lot. And it's the same in everything. We need to be responsible for our actions in our life. Okay. When we are responsible for our actions and we own them, because I believe we need to own what it is that we do, we need to stand in our true light. And if we can't stand in that true light because we're being false in any way, you will find those people won't be able to hold that energy. So Spirit is really pushing today, or tonight, I should say, the last half an hour, and to put it out there. I want you guys to think about what it is that you do in your life. Are you judging others? Are you critical of things? Are you in a negative mindset, or are you in a positive mindset? Are you being the true self, or are you being a follower, so to speak? I want you to look at what it is that your soul and your purpose is wanting, the soul purpose is needing to do. And when you do that, do it with honor, stand in that light, own it. And I always say to my students, trust and surrender in what you're doing. So I don't want to say it's just this spiritual side of stuff. I want to say trust and surrender, believe in what you're doing, and know you're really good at it, because you are amazing people. And I think sometimes we need to be reminded of that as well. So Amanda, your comment caught my eye. Self-critic's such a hard pattern to break. How do we develop self-love? I want to say, honey, when we have those patterns, the hardest part is to realize that we are doing that. We are in that mindset. I'm far from perfect. And believe me, I have my moments of negativity, or I might look at people and think, ugh. I pull myself up and I remind myself that's their journey. We all have a journey, and we need to do what serves the purpose for us in that moment. So I want to say, when you become aware that you're in that, change your mindset, change your focus, and watch how that will change as well. Because the more we do that stuff and the more we practice it, you're going to find it becomes second nature. You will leave that critical side, the critical side of you out of it. Okay, the positive will take over. But that's a really good question, hon. Well done. Really like that. Monica is just saying, be true. True, be yourself. It is, and that's all we need to do. And I want to say, I do see Mika has a comment there about a job. I want to say, for those people, doing things, trust in yourself, trust your gut instincts. We all have it. So, you're no different to what I am in the way of this gift. If you want to call it a gift, or whatever you want to call it, we all have abilities. We all have strong points. Mine just comes a little bit more naturally, and I have done a lot of work over the years and a lot of hard training to develop the skills that I have. It doesn't just come easy. Believe me, it can be a roller coaster. Barbara's saying, thank you, beautiful lady. I needed to hear that now. Wonderful, hun. And I want to say, if you're on the other end of it and you are being judged or criticized or put down by others, please know that's their issue. That's their monkey, not yours. You don't need to take that on. That is their issues they need to work through. More than likely, you're mirroring something in them that they don't like. And that's, like I said, that's their issue. So I want to say, no matter the situation, be true to yourself. And, that is important as well. D is I'm just randomly picking comments. I'm happy to go with this, and I'd love you guys to share what you think as well, because I'm not saying I'm right or I'm wrong. There are always two sides to everything, and I believe it is what it is. That is one of my favorite sayings lately, the last probably 6 months. My biggest one is, there's enough dead people to go around, and believe me, there certainly is. People are passing every day, and they will go and get drawn to those that they want to communicate with. because they resonate with them. Okay, so to me, there is no selfishness, that people will go to where they need to be. I'll connect with the reader or whoever that they need to be. I just believe that those readers need to sit in a level of ethics and stay true to themselves. It doesn't matter how they get the message, as long as they are honouring that spirit that they are connected with, that message that they are bringing through. So Dee says, I am a self-doubter, very bad one that can't at times lead to extreme depression. Now, honey, what is it that you're doubting? Does this go back into your childhood? What is the conditioning? How were you brought up? I want people to I would like to see people start looking at the bigger picture, and that's one thing I love to do with my students, is watch them go deeper into a reading and get more information, because we scratch the surface on so many things. But Dee, if I was to say to you, I want you to sit back and I want you to reflect on your lifetime, look at way people have treated you. Now, I'm not saying you've been ill-treated or things have been pushed on you. I want you to look at where that comes from. Things like that have a trigger. We all have lessons in this lifetime that we need to learn. What is your lesson that comes from that? Well, does that self-doubt serve a purpose in your life? Believe me, I struggled with my confidence for years. And, come 5 years ago, you wouldn't have put me in front of a camera. You wouldn't have put me in front of a group of people to speak. Now, these days, I could stand in front of 130, 140 people and read for people in the crowd. And I love it. I love the energy. I love the way people come together. And when I do that, all I see is myself talking to one person in a room. At that time, I don't see the 149 or whatever other people that are there. It's you and it's me that's having that conversation and in that moment, until Spirit will step in and move me somewhere else. All right. So, honey, change your thought process. So every time you have a bad thought or a negative thought, and you doubt yourself, I want you to stop, take a deep breath, ground yourself, wiggle your toes on the ground so you are feeling that energy coming down from your head to your feet, and just acknowledge the thought when it's a negative thought and replace it with a positive thought, because the more you do that, the more you're going to find that you are going to turn that around. All right. So good luck with that, honey. Let me know how you go. All right. Tina says, I always doubt my intuition and gut feeling. Hard to break out of that one, especially as I'm usually right. So, honey, it's all about trust and surrender, okay? I know you want to do the development class at some stage. I do feel that will help you in that sense too. So sometimes it's also about understanding how this works, how we get our information. And as a mentor and a teacher, a coach, probably I prefer the word coach rather than teach, because I like to coach you, is probably the best word to use, into working out how you work and how to strengthen that. I'm not going to sit there and tell you, you need to do this, this, and this, because we all work differently. Now, that isn't just in this spiritual side of it, it's life in general. We are all individuals. We can't expect to be the same. The government and all that stuff set all these laws and stuff in place, and different things and expectations. Yes, we have to conform to a certain degree, but I believe we need to stand out and be the best version of what we can be. So, honey, trust and surrender. I think you prove yourself wrong in your doubt a lot of the time. So, and you have said that you are usually right. So I want to say it is letting go of that self-doubt. Where has that come into your life? Okay. Is it people around you? Are you taking on their energy in that sense? Okay. So, I'll let you think about that one for a little while, honey. Sharon just says it is hard to believe in yourself when the negative raises its head. That's the habits, honey. The negative is quite easy. We seem to find it easier to go into that negative mindset than we do the positive mindset. Okay. So I want to say, actually, for some of you that did catch myself and Annette with Don Tolman last week, he talked about the pineal gland. English, sorry, my tiredness. Pineal gland, I've said that wrong too, but you get the idea. In the brain is like the thing that makes us happy. And it makes us sad at the same time. If you are somebody that is in that negative mindset or has anxiety, depression, Don talked about having, and I had a conversation with him, with Annette a few weeks ago, fresh pineapple and orange put together, eat them together. I put them into a smoothie and that will help you to feel better. It's like a happy drug without needing to have drugs, so to speak. All right. So that might be something that can help people change their mindset a little bit and feel a little bit more positive in themselves as well. Now, Sharon, is it your negativity or is it the negativity of people around us? I want you guys to think about it. Okay. When you get thoughts and you get feelings, are they yours? Okay. A lot of the time we get a lot of thoughts, we get a lot of feelings, and it can sound like our voice in our head, but it's not our energy. We can carry the energy of others around us. There is a very fine line between spirit and our energy to those around us as well. So you might have people around you going through that negative energy, Sharon, but you're taking it on like it's yours. All right. So acknowledge it, give gratitude, and let it go. When we move things around like that, we find we let go of things a lot quicker. So when you get in that mindset, and it's the same, I was talking to one of my lovely clients today. Move the keyboard out my way. One of the lovely clients today we were talking about empaths, and she's an empath. Okay. We as empaths feel things in our bodies, the physical pain, the emotional, the mental, the whole lot side of it. And so if you're somebody that takes on other people's energies and you're empathic, you're going to feel their body pain. You're going to feel their emotions. I quite often, for myself, I can walk into a shopping centre and stand at the line at the checkout wanting to pay for my goods, and I can pick up people's pains. I can pick up their emotion, their sadness, their happiness even, their aches, their pains, their injuries in their body. But I can take it on like it's mine. A few years ago, I taught myself to, when I feel things or the emotion, the sadness, that I say to myself, sorry, spirits distracting me. I say to myself, if it's not mine for the better of good, I let it go. So I will release it in that side of it. Okay. Now I know tonight I'm feeling my aches and pains. My fibro is in heightened. My eyesight is a little bit blurry. I've got a bit of a headache, but I think my blood pressure's up a little bit. But this is me fatigued. I know the signs. I know when I get tired and exhausted, I get cold. I can't get warm. And I feel a little bit like that tonight. So it's listening to your body. It's taking note of what you're feeling. So if it's not yours and you do that release, you're going to find it's going to move. If it stays, you know it is yours. So you need to acknowledge it as well. Okay. So, and it is just saying giggles, enough spooks to go around, crack me up every time. There is, honey. And we've got Shelley saying hi as well. So Brittany is saying, my childhood has brought my depression and my anxiety. So, honey, what is it that triggers your anxiety, your depression? I do want to just touch on that as well. Spirit's just drawing me to that. So thank you for bringing that up, honey. People that are intuitive quite often will suffer from anxiety and depression because they're not listening to what spirit's trying to tell them. So that is a common factor that I have come across the last few years, and I see it a lot in our teenage kids these days. They are very open, they are very intuitive, but they don't understand what it is they're feeling. So, honey, what is it that, sets your triggers off? Do you get thoughts and feelings? Now, I always say to my clients, trust what you feel, you think, you see, you hear, because that is basically how spirit is going to communicate with you. Okay. So, Brittany, if you're having those thoughts, those feelings, and they don't feel like yours, it is possible your anxiety is coming through your intuition as well. And I think it's important for a lot of us to understand how this side of it works so we can help work on that mental health, find a balance in that. Okay. It is very easy these days, for doctors to jump, and I'm not saying it's wrong or right, but it is very easy for doctors to prescribe anxiety and depression and medicate people without actually going and looking at the source. Now, I believe there is mental health out there without a doubt, but I believe also that some people can be diagnosed with mental health, but it can be their actual intuition as well. I'd love to know what you guys think on it, especially those that do suffer with anxiety and depression. Do you think you're intuitive? Do you have that ability to feel other people's stuff? I'd love to know what you think. Sorry, I'm trying to be good and drink water. I've been a bit slack today. I've been too busy. And see, it's all about self-nurture too. And I can be a bit slack with that at times as well. Okay, so I'm just looking at those that are making comments along what we are saying at the moment. So Sharon's just saying, I agree, it's easier to get into the negative than the positive. And it's funny because for some reason, negative comes quite natural to a lot of people, but positive is something that it takes work. So Sharon just says, I remember that, the pineapple and orange. Tina is just saying, interested about the pineapple and orange. So what I do, guys, is I've got into the habit of putting fresh pineapple and orange. I cut the skin off of the orange and the pineapple. I'm throwing them into my smoothie, and I was putting some water in there and some natural Greek yogurt. This week I've discovered, and Annette will be very proud of me, organic coconut milk. So I'm just doing the pineapple, the orange in the milk, and just blend it up on in my blender, my NutriBullet, and that's my breakfast in the morning. And it makes me feel, just that first even couple of mouthfuls of it, it's quite refreshing as well. So, and I do feel more positive for that in that way. So, and believe me, in this work, it can be quite hard sometimes to stay in that positive, because if I start taking on my client's energy or the energy of a spirit, which does happen at times, it doesn't matter how much I protect myself, we can still do that without meaning to do it. And so for me, it's about nurturing yourself. And I think this year I'm becoming more and more aware of how important it is to do that. Mind you, I do still keep pushing to myself to a limit. And as much as I love seeing you guys here, it was very close to me tonight actually saying I'm out on spiritual maintenance in that way. So I love that saying. I just feel like a car going in for a service. All right, excellent. Diana is just saying, hello, Leanne. Thank you. I will try the pineapple and orange. Remember, guys, it's something that you need to keep doing. So for me, it's not just have it for 1 or 2 days. Do it for a week or do it for a fortnight and see how you go. Even if it's just once a day, it can make a really big difference in that. Okay, beautiful. Tina's letting me know that she definitely picks up other people's energy as well. Okay, so I was going to say that's taking a long time to come up. Ashley is letting me know that anxiety started for me with the fear of failing success. Okay. And that's the thing, guys. There can be triggers. Look at those triggers. Look at why, we do that stuff. Okay. Fear is, I remember, as a false emotion that appears real, false emotions appearing real. Okay. I also look these days at fear being a way to keep myself grounded. So that when fear comes up, I just breathe through it and I go, okay, ground, focus on taking my thought process from my head down to my feet. And when I do that, I find things usually flow quite well. All right. It's usually, Ashley is saying it's the pressure. Yeah. And sometimes the pressure of having that fear can be enough to set it off as well. So, D, this is a pretty long one, but I think I'm drawn to it being important to put it up. I've tried suicide twice about 11 years ago. I couldn't understand how I could, like myself in my own family, hated me. And yes, I was told outright, and even my in-laws would make my way and brunt of their public jokes. It took 2 years of counselling, being diagnosed as bipolar, and 2 years of finding right meds. I am proud now to say I like myself, and F those who, I'm going to say fuck those, because I totally believe it, agree with you, honey. Those who try to stamp on me. Excuse the French, the last year and have year and a half. The last year and a half has been a big struggle, as my pain support, my main support was my mum that passed. All right, sorry about that. My eyes are blurry, and on the side of the screen, it's quite small writing. So good on you, honey. Well done. And you know what? I totally agree with you. I reckon F everybody else in the, if they can't be there to support you and love you and as you, that's their issues. That's not theirs. I have a daughter that has gone through a lot of bullying and anxiety through school. And I quite often remind her, those that usually bully others are those that have their own shortfalls, those that aren't confident in themselves, those that need to put on the face, so to speak, to make themselves feel better and bring others down in that side of it. So, that's their issues. That's not yours, honey. And I just want to say, well done. It is a big thing, but at the same time, there is, it's part of our journey that we need to experience these things and we need to learn from them. But you took back your power, you took back your strength, and by telling them all to bugger off, you are standing in your power, honey, and I think that is the most important thing that we need to do these days as well. Okay. Anna is saying she's extremely proud. Beautiful. Tina's saying yum. I would say that is to the pineapple and the coconut milk, and that it is really yummy. I've only been on the coconut milk for about 3 days now, and I am truly in love with it. So bugger the piece of toast or the muffin in the morning, English muffin. I'm going for the smoothie every time. Okay. I actually get disappointed if I run out of something now. Like the other day, I ran out of pineapple, fresh pineapple. So what I've done is actually bought a packet of frozen pineapple and I've put it in the freezer as my backup. So if I do run out of fresh pineapple, I've got the frozen, then I know I've got a day to go and get some more pineapple. And pineapple is really nice at the moment. Brittany says, I hear and feel it. I've never noticed it until I was a little bit older. I do feel it is intuition. I've been on several medications. I feel my anxiety happens when, for my ex, someone doesn't understand my feelings and kind of tries to push them out. Okay. And sometimes it is about just needing to be understood, or you understanding in yourself as well with that. And then Brittany goes on to say, I'm still trying to figure out how to explain it. Why do you need to explain it, honey? It is what it is. You are the one that needs to be comfortable with it. Okay. It doesn't matter what everybody else thinks. Now, I know that is a little bit hard when it comes to society, but that's the way society rolls. There's so much judgment and criticism and everything out there. I think when we stand in our own power and we work out of love, that is where it's going to bring a change. And the more that we can do that, and the more of us doing that, we're going to find things are going to start to change. I do believe that more and more of us are awakening. I keep saying to people, those that choose to sit in the negative energy and the drama are going to get left behind. Those that are awakening and going with that flow are going to find they're going to move forward quite quickly as well. All right. So, honey, please do not try to, I don't want to say explain it. Yes, to a degree, you need to have an understanding, but go with the flow. Acknowledge stuff when they come up. Look at the patterns. All right. If anybody is interested, and I don't mean this to be an ad for my development one, my beginner's level psychic mediumship, I think when some of us, a lot of us can understand how this side of stuff works. A lot of us are doing it without realizing. So when you have a better understanding on how it works, and you're practicing that stuff rather than shutting it down, you may find your anxiety and your depression will change. All right. So I wish you all the best with that. Tina says banana works on the serotonin uptake. That's a big word for me, honey, tonight. They're basically unhappy pill. Beautiful. Excellent. So maybe I did add banana a week or two ago in with my pineapple because I had a banana that was starting to get a bit gooey. Like was started to turn. So rather than throw it out, I throw it into my smoothie. I thought it doesn't matter if it's a bit soft in there, it gets blended up. But for some reason, I think I was doing a show with Roz and I was drinking it slowly through the show. I found that I presume it was the banana that made the rest go bitter, sort of thing. So that was the last time I put banana in there. Roz is just letting me know she loves the coconut. Beautiful, Roz. It's refreshing. I don't know why I haven't got onto it before. I'll need a service more than and it says we all need a service some more than others. Thank you, honey. I totally agree. All right. Excellent. And we've got Mel just saying hello. And Monica is saying energy is always around, positive and emotion and English would help. Positive and emotional comes and goes, sometimes negative. Knowing how to self-regulate, breathe, and keeping busy will help. Has helped me to not give up over this year after losing loss of my loved ones. And that is the thing, honey. It's about finding what works for you. We all work differently. So it is important to acknowledge that. And that's where I think we get, a lot of people with anxiety and depression probably get told by others a lot, get over it. It's not real. It's your mindset. Things take time. Things take work. And it's finding what works for us. It's finding the triggers. It's finding balance in life. And we all need balance in life. And we all get out of whack at times. So it's knowing and acknowledging that we are and we need to make those changes and finding those things to help us do that as well. So Brittany is also just saying, and it raised when I finally found out myself what happened when I was a child. It took a while to actually figure out what happened, and I haven't told anyone. And that's the thing, honey. We can suppress things, especially as children. It happened. So I'm just going on to the rest of your message. It happened when I was very young, so it was blurry. to me until it came to me while driving. And that's the thing, things come up when they do. And things happen, hun. And this goes not just for Brittany, it goes for everybody. I'm a believer in everything happens for a reason. Those things happen to help us make us who we are today. Now, in saying that, and I know things happen that aren't always the nicest, and I'm presuming, honey, yours wasn't, or I feel that yours wasn't. But at the same time, we need to let go so we can move forward. And I know that can be quite easy to say rather than to do, but it is something that we need to practice. Now, believe me, timing is a big thing. So sometimes it's in the timing of when this happens as well, not actually what happened to you, but in the letting go. I'm a big believer in it's not about forgetting, it's not about forgiving, but it is about finding peace in that situation at that time. So, honey, if you can find the peace in what happened to you, it doesn't mean you have to forgive or forget. And I want to say that person. It is about knowing that is part of your journey, knowing it's made you stronger and looking at how you can move forward from it, because we can all let things in our lives block us, to hold us back, whether it's stopping us from, there's been trauma in our lives that stops us from succeeding, or, crossing that bridge that something might have happened on. For me, I had a roof fall on me like a few years ago, myself and some of my family members, that came from a gusty day and the wind and the structure and all that stuff. It was not just one thing that did it, it was multiple things that caused it. Happened for a reason. When the wind picks up, and even nearly 6 years down the track, I find it hard when the house creaks and when there's noises and there's banging and crashing, because it takes me back to that memory of that day, that injury that I occurred and other family members took on it as well. What happened to them as well. So there are things that we hold on to. Our cells remember pain. They remember the emotional side, the negative side of things. It's not always that we remember the happy things in those. We seem, like I said before, we seem to hold on to the negative in that way. So, pardon me, we are all human. Believe me, I certainly am, and I have my faults and my ups and my downs, but it's about how we can balance it. It's about, for me, if I have a negative moment or a negative few hours, I allow myself that time. And then I pick myself up after a couple of hours and go, right, that's it. You've acknowledged it. You let it go. Let's turn it around. Tomorrow is a better day. So if you need a couple of hours, you need half a day, you need a day, you take that time, because that is all part and parcel of nurturing us as well. So that is really important to remember to do that as well. Vicky's just letting me know she has shared the love. Thank you, honey. I will get into some questions very shortly. It's funny because Spirit pushed that. Oh, that's lovely, Sharon. Well done, Dee, Thomas. I applaud you. And I love that, guys, in this group, with people that come together, the way we support each other. We are strangers to each other in a sense. I feel like I know you all by your name, your stories, your questions, just connect your energy more than anything is what I remember. But I love the way that people, like-minded people, come together and they support each other. And I am really proud of the way that my followers don't judge each other. This is a safe environment, and you nurture each other, you look after each other. So I do want to thank you all for that as well. Okay, so Mika is saying, I definitely am an empath. I have to have shut things off and be by myself to regroup. I don't watch the news much, and reading the paper can be overwhelming, but I feel I need to do this so I don't get overwhelmed. It's beautiful, honey. You are knowing your limits, okay? Believe me, I don't like to watch the news very much either. Yes, I do see it occasionally. The TV, if my husband is home, it will be on, and he likes to watch the news and stuff like that. I find I zone out. I will focus on my computer work, or I will be doing something else. I might even close my eyes and sit there and go to sleep as well. So it's finding what works for you. Okay. I do work at times on cold cases, missing people. Can you imagine if I allowed myself to take a lot of that stuff on that I see and I feel, because I'm the empath as well, in that stuff? It's learning to separate yourself. Okay. So when I do hear the news, if I am paying attention, I mirror that back at where it's come from. Okay. It's the same as I get doing this work. There is a lot of jealousy from other people in this industry. You get a lot of negative energy pushed on you by others. I now, and I don't know even how it started, but here a few months ago, I started hearing, probably 6 months ago now, actually it was early last year, I started hearing Elvis Presley singing to me, Return to Sender. So as I feel that energy, or I'm becoming more aware of that energy approaching me now, Elvis steps in and sings to me, Return to Sender, which I then reflect that energy back at the sender. So I'm giving their energy back to them without taking it on. And it's just little tricks and of the trade that you learn as you go along. So it's finding what works for you. So, honey, I think one day you will be able to start to hear and see the news without actually taking it on, but just become aware when you are doing that, like when that stuff is on it, if you are having to be, um, be aware of it, reflect it back so it's not actually sitting in your energy field. All right. Rashina is just saying apple juice helps with inflammation. That's interesting. That probably makes sense to why I'm having less pain in my knee at times since I've been on the pineapple. Okay. I still get pain, but it's not inflamed as much as what it has been in the past. All right. So, Ashley is just saying, I find that the fear does ground me and makes me more informed and locally decisions rather than just going off on a tangent. But no one would know that inside I'm freaking out. Okay. Honey, the more you practice it, the easier it's going to get. All right. So well done on, being aware of it. That I think sometimes in itself is the biggest thing, of knowing that we're doing it and that we are doing it. And then knowing that we can just take that breath and we can start to work through it. Okay. So well done. I used to suffer panic attacks. Many years ago, I didn't like to go out in public. I had suffered a work injury and I just closed myself off at home because of the pain. Now, the pain took over and I still get that pain. I live with chronic pain constantly. But I used to shut myself down. I couldn't go to work. I couldn't drive the car. And a lot of the time it was just the fear of being in pain and not breathing and being tense, which caused more pain. So it's knowing how far to push yourself and knowing when to not push as well. It's finding that balance in that. And it took me many years to get over my panic attacks because I couldn't be in shopping centres with too many people. I couldn't be in big groups or in noise. And my daughter still, even at the age of 15, she doesn't like too much noise. It becomes overwhelming. My grandfather was like that. My dad is like that, but he's more to do with his hearing and certain pitches in that sense. Okay. So, it took a while to work through it, but it is about putting one foot in front of the other and keep moving forward. So I wish you all the very best with that, honey. I'm sure you will get there. Okay. Brittany says, I meant explain to my family and tell them what's happened when I was a child. I felt that we'll get rid of it somewhat. Yeah. And sometimes we do need to just speak out. We need to be heard. All right. So, honey, I want to say I encourage you to do what's right for you, what works for you. Okay. Sharon says, loving this tonight. Thank you. Yeah, Spirit, you're welcome, honey. Spirit really did push it because, like I said, I was ready to put up a sign and just go, uh, close for spiritual maintenance tonight. And I love that saying. But Spirit, 15, 20 minutes before I was due to come live, just went, no, you need to talk about structure. You need to talk about judgment, everything that goes on in life. So, and this is the thing, and a lot of people like Brittany, some of your fear might be about talking and saying that out loud to your family, because sometimes when we say things, out loud, it actually becomes reality where I'm not saying it's in your head, it's made up. I'm saying when the thought process is in your head, it's contained, you're dealing with it, you're the only one that knows about it. But when you speak out, it can become reality, but at the same time, it can become a release as well, that you're not holding on to that burden, that energy anymore. So, and like I said, it's working out what is right for you. There is no wrong or right. Beautiful. Excellent. Tina's sending hugs to Brittany. Beautiful. And I would say that is a healing hug to Brittany. Okay. Thank you, Annette. And it's just reminding me, and this has been going off on my little tangent, so to speak, that if you are watching from any other pages, bar mytimetv.live, you do need to jump over here into mytimetv.live so I can actually see your comments in the background. Louise is saying good morning. Good morning, honey. By memory, you're in Canada. So thank you for joining in. Guys, do hashtag. Let me know where you're from as well. I can see a lot of you are sharing the love as well. So, Louise, I got yes to that without even reading. Will things get better for me? Breathe, let this energy pass. And that's something else, guys and ladies, that the universe is bringing up a lot at the moment. I do feel this year is a positive year. Now, a lot of you are going to say, God, no, hasn't been for me. This year is bringing up stuff on our soul level. So we have held on to so much stuff and we have pushed it down and it keeps manifesting, right? So some of this stuff that's coming up now, you may have touched the surface and thought you dealt with it in the past, but it hasn't. It's sitting on a soul level. So what the universe is doing this year is pushing all that stuff up from the deep stuff, the really deep stuff, and bringing it to the surface for us to deal with. But the sooner we acknowledge it, let it go, reflect, I want to say, the sooner we acknowledge it, we reflect on it, we can find peace in it, give gratitude and let it go, we're going to move forward really quickly. A lot of us have done a lot of hard work over the past couple of years, and we have been working on things that we've been trying to manifest. When we do that we've put the hard work behind us already. When we let go of this final stage that is holding us back, all this stuff on the soul level, we are going to move forward really quickly. And now is the time for all that stuff that we have been working on to actually start moving. So I want to say, take the time, do the work on you, do that releasing. Sometimes we might not even understand what it is that we're letting go of or what we are bringing up, but it is helping us to move forward. Mika says, thanks, Leanne. I'm learning more about myself as I get older and I'm learning to listen to my body. Well done, honey. And I think it is something that comes with age, because when we're younger, we have a lot of lessons and a lot of other things that distract us as well. As we're getting older, we are being pushed to focus on us, where in the past we've, especially as women, and men do it as well, we have had to focus on everybody else. We've had to nurture and care for everybody else. This year, we're really being pushed to focus on us and nurture us. And I believe when we focus on us and we nurture us and we do those things that we're really being drawn to, we are going to move forward quite quickly, and those things around us, our family and everything else, are going to fall into place. We're going to bring balance into our lives, but we're also going to lead by example. So you watch how, when you're doing this stuff, how you find that balance comes not just within your life, but for those that you love around you as well with that. Okay. Spirit's also reminding me, let go of those things that no longer serve a purpose in your life, those things that weigh you down. So you know how when we get a chance, and I haven't had a chance to do it for a while, we go through the house and we get rid of clutter. Okay. Get rid of those things that no longer serve us. You know how good that feels, how the energy in the house feels. Can you imagine when we do that in our lives and we get rid of those, whether it's people in our lives that no longer serve a purpose, because people do come and go for a reason. I believe everybody steps into our focus for a reason, or in our pathway. They will bring something, whether it will continue to serve a purpose or not. Sometimes we've got to let those come and go at their own pace. Okay. So can you imagine what it's like when you start to declutter your life? And I'm sure a lot of you have already done this at times and got rid of those things that no longer serve a purpose. It might be the friendships, it could be relationships, it could be jobs, it could be a number of things. How good it feels, okay? Because I do feel that by cleansing ourselves physically and emotionally and spiritually, we move a lot of stuff. We move a lot of clutter. We move a lot of that fog that sits there. Okay. And Spirit's just reminded me, breathe and ground. So when we do that breathing, that grounding, we are centering our energy at the same time. And it's just saying the planet, hashtag planet Earth. Beautiful. You've got to love Mother Earth, honey. Michaela is saying, hello, just wondering if you see me with any more babies, please. I do want to put one around you, honey. And I was actually getting the colour blue. So I want to say a little boy there as well. Okay. And we have D from Cairns. Beautiful, honey. Excellent. Okay, so next we have okay, Amanda is just saying, I have anxiety and depression. So, honey, would you say you're intuitive? I'd be interested to find out. Okay, maybe if you could put that in the comments, that would be really interesting. Like I said, if you caught me talking about anxiety and depression a little bit earlier in the show, it seems to be a common thing that with people with anxiety and depression, probably 98, 99% of people I've come across with anxiety and depression are quite intuitive. It just seems to be a common thing. All right. So I don't want to say everybody is, but a lot of people are. And when we close that down, we quite often find that by blocking stuff, that's where the anxiety and the depression comes in. All right. Helen, I get yes without even reading yours. Hi, Leanne. Will my finances get better soon? Now, this is another thing, honey, is focus on what it is that you need to move forward. Okay. What it is you need to be comfortable. Don't focus on the lack of finances. Don't focus on the bills that you've got, because that is what you are manifesting. So if you put it out to the universe to give me what I need, and this is what I do, give me what I need to be comfortable and to pay my bills, like pay my bills and be comfortable. Okay. When things or money or the bills are coming in, I focus more so on that than what is coming in and not what's going out in that side of it. Like, as in, I don't try to focus too much on the bills that are coming in. I know they're there. They're always going to be there. Okay. I put out to the universe that I need to bring in what I need to make, to pay my bills and to be comfortable. And if my calendar's looking a little bit short and I'm sort of going, okay, I've got bills coming in, I need to pay this week, but I don't have the money coming in as much, I do that, and within about 24 hours, my phone starts to beep, because every time one of you make an appointment on my online booking, I get an SMS to say such and such has booked in for a one question or a half hour, an hour reading or healing or whatever it is. Okay. So when I get that, like I put it out to the universe, my guides will deliver within usually 24 hourish, 48 hours type of thing. Now, my mum, quite often, she says to me, my guides aren't working. I just got a mouthful of water, sorry. And I'm sure mum's probably here in the background somewhere listening as well, but I'm sure mum won't mind me using her as an example. She quite often says, my guides aren't working. I go, why, mum? She says, I keep saying I'd like a new car and I'm not getting it. It's not happening. I need a new car. I said, mum, it's in the wording. You are telling them you would like a new car. You are not asking for a new car. You are not demanding a new car. I said, you need to tell them that I need a new car now. Be firm. There's nothing wrong with it. You can be polite, but and still be firm in that sense. So she started changing her wording. And then I think mum might fall into older habits a little bit. But I also say to people, don't be greedy in the way that you do it. Okay. It sometimes comes down to timing. The timing might not be right in your life right there at that time. Who's to say that mum doesn't demand that she wants a new car and it's given to her on demand, but the timing isn't right? She might get a lemon. Who knows? It's all about the right timing for it to happen. You can only put out that clear picture. You can ask for what it is that you want to manifest and you can leave it with them. I always say give your guides permission. Tell your guides exactly. All right, let's start from the beginning. Invite your guides in. Tell them exactly in a very clear way what it is that you want, not a way that you're going to change your mind or you're going to bring confusion into it. You give them that clear message. I always like to give them permission to go ahead and do that work for me. And I always like to thank them because I might get 2 days down the track and that happens and I forget to go back and give gratitude. All right. So I like to thank them in advance for what they're going to share. Now, within reason, everything I've asked for my guides to do over the years since I have been focusing on this side of my spiritual side, I have got everything I've asked, but I'm not being greedy in the way that I ask either. All right. So you've all got guides. Ask for them. Ask their help, but within reason. You don't want to put it out there, I'm going to win $1 million. Okay. If you're lucky to, well done. But they will give you what you need within reason. Amanda says there is a stigma out there on anxiety and depression being a sign of weakness. It's not. I totally agree with you. I'm not saying that there's not that stigma because there totally is. And it's usually those people that don't understand the anxiety and the depression that will jump to that side of it. Okay. But believe me, I could just about guarantee those people that do put those stigmas on things like anxiety and depression have weaknesses in other areas. They are not perfect. And that may be an area that you are stronger in. All right. So, and that's where I think it is really important that we as a universe, as a human race, need to get past this judgment and the egos and stuff that get in the way. And we need to come together as a loving race and support each other. And I think those that do that and practice that regularly are going to bond together, and they are the people that are going to stand out, and those others will get left behind. Okay. There's just so much, I want to say, I guess selfishness is probably the word to use. There's so many egos out there. There's so much judgment. There's so much hatred, and those energies just really, without being judgmental, piss me off. They rub me up the wrong way because I feel like I'm looking at the bigger picture. And like I said, I'm not perfect. I can go that past the surface and see what is actually going on another level. And it's just something that I have been able to do with strengthening my skill set, so to speak. And it's just one of my things that I'm good at. But I have a lot of weaknesses as well. So Victoria is saying shared happily earlier. Just wondering if you're getting any messages from me, please, or is it too early? No, it's not too early, honey. Actually, time's up for the show, and I haven't really even answered any. I just get, honey, look at what's going on in your life at the moment, because I do feel like there's opportunities coming, but it's also sorting out that stuff around you at the moment that is holding you back as well. So I wish you all the very best with that as well. Okay. Michaela says, will I be pregnant again after 2 losses? Oh, honey, my heart goes out to you. Yes, I want to say move that energy around your reproductive system. So I do feel that there is some blockages there as well. So my feeling is see yourself also bond with the child, honey. So to me, I understand after 2 losses, and I went through fertility issues myself, I understand more than likely there is going to be that fear of not being able to carry a child again, or the excitement of getting pregnant, but then the fear of losing it in that sense. I want you to change your thought process. I want you, if you can, honey, or what I suggest is see yourself connect with that beautiful embryo, that baby that is growing, okay? See yourself nurturing it as you nurture you as well, and have that connection, because that will help bond the two of you together, okay? So I wish you all the very best with that, but I do want to put pregnancy around you this year as well. Amanda just says, I was bullied through school and at work. My sister passed away 10 years ago, and my dad, when ours was angry, my heart would race and I would freak out and end up in a panic attack. Yeah, it's hard, honey. I used to get the panic attacks too, and I got to learn my symptoms of the panic attack coming on, and I would focus on my breath work. And I actually learned that through a pain management class that I did for about 6 months ago. So, for about 6 months, it wasn't 6 months ago, it was many years ago. So, by bringing my thought process out of my head, and focusing on my breath and breathing down into my stomach would help me get on top of those panic attacks before they would actually go into a full-blown one. And the more I did that, the easier it got, but the less I started having those panic attacks as well. Okay. Ross just says, the curse is on there. Which page are we meant to be on? I've just managed to get to the Mac instead of the mobile phone and now can't find the right page. Honey, it's My Time TV. Okay. Wednesday nights is normally My Time TV. So, guys, please, I know I haven't done too many readings. I've done very little, but for some reason tonight, I just felt that there is the need to bring these subjects up and to talk to them. And I do appreciate you all putting in and commenting, joining in, because, like I said, there is no right or wrong way of dealing with things. It's finding what works for you and knowing that you're not alone as well. So, I am very touched that we've had some beautiful messages. Some people have shared some deeper stuff that a lot of the time a lot of us would put on the smiley face and try to hide in that way. So I do want to thank you all for doing that and being patient with me. But if you know somebody that may be interested in this, the subject, that may, go through anxiety or depression, or have been bullied or judged all their lives, or whatever their story is, because we all have a background, we all have a story, and everybody is different. But if you think this will relate with them, please tag a minute by putting the @ symbol, the shift 2 down, hold the shift button and the 2 together to get the @ symbol. type their first name followed by their last, and that way it will highlight their name with no space between the first letter of their name and the @ symbol. That is going to tag them in it rather than just type their name, because if they're not on this page, they are not going to see that message in that. Or share the link. Take the link out of the bar where you're watching now, the link above the video, and SMS it to them or message them, and then that way they can, watch the replay as well. All right, Amanda's just saying, but I have, whoops, it helps if I push the button, but I have found since I've had my son at 11:11 on the day he was born, since then I started noticing more and more things like spirit, trying to communicate. My son sees spirit as well. Kids are so intuitive. I love it. More confidence in myself since I have crystals and looking into my spiritual meaning. Well done, honey. Sometimes it is about finding that balance, and it's finding what resonates with us. I know my life seemed to get a lot clearer when I started acknowledging my abilities and my spiritual sort of side of it as well. I wouldn't like to think I go overboard with it, but I've found a balance that works for me. And it's the same whether my mum is here. I didn't think you would mind me sharing that, Mum. Beautiful. She just hadn't commented to let me know she was there, or I didn't see it. It's the same as religion. I find quite often I become under attack or threatened by religious people. Now, each to their own, as I said before, is one of my favorite two sayings. It's you do what is right for you, but at the same time, I don't believe in pushing my energy, my beliefs onto other people. I'd love to have a conversation. I do. I have conversations quite often with religious people, and I give them the focus that they deserve, what they're entitled to. And I listen, but I don't judge them. But at the same time, I believe if I'm going to do that for another person, I'm entitled to have that back as well, because it goes both ways. So I'm happy to believe and to listen to a person's beliefs, whether it's spiritual, it's religion, it's work-based, it's whatever. And sorry, spirit's getting my attention out the side there. I just had a flash of white light go through with that comment. So I want to say that's clarification. That's okay. I'm happy to listen to their views, but I'm not going to judge them for it either, because it works for them. And like I said, we are all very different and we work in different ways, and it's important to sit in that energy, own who we are and stay with it. We don't need to justify or explain ourselves to others. We don't need to allow others to take our power back either. Take it away from us, to suffocate it. Amanda just says, yes, intuition big time. I am an empath. I can walk into a room, and if someone is happy or angry, I can pick up on it even without them talking. Usually anger can make me have a panic attack. Okay, so it's good that you know that, honey. So mirror it back at them, okay? And Amanda also says, can mail me psychic sick. I think that's supposed to be. It can make you take on that illness as well, honey. All right, so Jessica, I am just about to wrap up, honey, and unfortunately I haven't got to answer too many questions. I might see I'm actually home this week. I am not away working. So last week we were in Broken Hill and had an amazing weekend teaching drum making workshops. So I'm having a weekend at home. So I might even try to come on maybe Friday night. I do have a business meeting tomorrow night. So maybe Friday night or one day over the sometime over the weekend and do some questions, because I do sort of feel like I have missed a lot of questions in that side of it. All right, guys. Kathy is saying, I am disappointed to hear about the jealousy and the spirituality, Leanne. Honey, there is so much out there. It is. It breaks my heart, but at the same time, I think we don't need to give them the energy, give them that time, that energy either. That's their journey, and maybe that's something that they need to learn in their pathway as well. I just say each to their own. There's, like I said, there's enough dead people to go around. We all got to do our own work and stay in that true energy. And I think if we're doing that, we're honoring ourselves in a really positive way as well. Wanted to say thank you, Leanne, for tonight's show. You are very welcome. All right, guys, I am going to leave it there. Like I said, I am feeling a little bit tired, a bit exhausted. I was second guessing myself about coming on first of all tonight, and I'm pleased I did. So thank you. I am sorry for those that I didn't get to answer your questions. I know there are a lot of you. Please don't inbox me wanting free readings. Please join into these shows. Just help me spread the word, spread the love, so to speak, by sharing these videos, tagging people in it. And I will certainly get on it as often as I possibly can to put the time in to do the free readings. Outside of these shows is based around my family time, because I do have 2 children and a husband and a bigger family as well. They're out of family in that sense. But I do put a lot of hours in to my week that is dedicated to my clients, my workshops, my students, and whatever else comes in under that. It's usually a mixed bag of a lot of things. So thank you, everybody. I do respect you. I do appreciate people respecting my boundaries in that way as well. Okay. I will be, what have I got coming up? August the 18th, I am heading out to Gawler Barossa Jockey Club to do an expo out there, and I am available for pre-bookings. So if you want to have a reading on that day, because it is only a 1 day this time out there, I would advise you to pre-book with readers. I know my day will fill up very quickly if sometimes I'm full before I even get there. Sometimes I might have a few appointments left. It varies at times. So I've got that coming up. If you are in the Salisbury area of Adelaide, out north of the city, I am doing a live show on stage where I read for the audience on the 21st of September, and tickets are available. The link for those tickets are in my inbox, my events page. So if you have a look through there, you will see that. I do also, at the beginning of September, I think it's the 7th and 8th, I am teaching my beginners level 1 workshop in psychic and mediumship. I have brought that back by popular demand because people keep asking for it. So that is in class 1. So if you want to learn how to do that, seriously consider coming. Now, the venue that I'm holding it at the Comfort in North Adelaide has accommodation. They are doing packages for us where the accommodation is a little bit cheaper if you let them know that you are with me. And that is a 2-day 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. And doing that in a group is incredible. To sit in that energy, to be around like-minded people is something in itself, and to be able to understand and help develop your skills so you can work out how you work can make a big difference in your life as well. Debbie, yours caught my attention. Before you go tonight, can you say anything on my dad's health? I do feel, I don't want to say there's warning bells going off, honey, but sorry, that's been really slow. I do get the reference to Dad's holding on to energy, and I do get the reference to he needs to maintain his health. His chest feels tight to me, so I do get the reference to look at what is going on in the chest area with that. Okay, so I don't know if he's had a bit of a cough or he's having trouble clearing his throat. I just get the reference to it is worth looking into further. All right, so I send lots of love and lots of healing there, but I do feel like Dad needs to go and have a checkup, maybe even a good blood test, sort of thing. Going over in that side of it, but I am very much drawn around that chest, lungs, heart area. Okay, so beautiful. All right, guys. Well, thank you all very much for joining in. Thank you for all the beautiful messages that people have sent and the messages saying goodbye. I know there's a few of you that I didn't get to say hello to, but thank you for joining in as well. All right, take care. Take some time for yourselves. Take a deep breath and ground yourself. Just breathe and enjoy life and be the best that you possibly can by staying true to yourself. All right, excellent. Thank you all. Take care. Good night, or good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Bye.